fifth most selected player is out. The most injury news we've ever had, and who's the one striker all the numbers are pointing to. This is the Fantasy Football Cheat Sheet, where we give you up-to-date injury news, predicted lineups, key fixture analysis, who to transfer in, and loads more. And all from official sources. And now it's on a Thursday. Lovely. Headline news. How can the headline news not be about Liverpool this week? They've got an injury list longer than well, it's long. The injury list, that is. The fifth most selected player on the Dream Team game is out. Mo Salah has tested positive for being a very good player and for that awful illness that's going about. It means Diogo Jota can enjoy an extended run in the side. Trent Alexander-Arnold is also out with a calf injury and likely not back at least until game week 10. Liverpool's other fullback, Andy Robertson, should be okay for their top four clash of their own. By the way, before you get your violins out for Liverpool, Leicester are missing Pereira, Soyuncu and Ndidi as well. So play your violins for them too. Joe Gomez joins Van Dijk on the long-term treatment table, meaning Liverpool's injured 11 is becoming better than most Premier League sides. Who do we welcome into the treatment room? And who's getting the hell out of it? Right, where do we begin? There's literally so much injury news to get through this week. The Gallagher's will be delighted as City get their best 11 back out on the pitch little by little. Sergio Aguero and Raheem Sterling are both set to play some part in game week 9. Although with Jesus scoring 3 and 3 this season, Aguero will have to roll with it as he'll be starting from the bench. The same can't be said for Nathan Ake, who was half the world away when he did his hamstring on international duty. Fear not though, as City have only conceded 4 goals in 7 games while Ruben Diaz has been at the heart of their defence. He's not bad at the other end either. He scored a brace for Portugal on Tuesday night. Shout out to Ferran Torres too, who scored a hat-trick against Germany as well. Not bad. Kai Havertz and Christian Pulisic are both set to miss the Saturday 12:30 kick-off against Newcastle. Pulisic had to leave his national team base in America prematurely. Someone else in America had to do that recently as well, didn't they? Ben Chilwell's little knock would have scared plenty of people, with him being the second most selected defender on Dream Team and the joint highest point scorer alongside Kurt Zouma. But it looks like we'll be seeing that Superman Barnett marauding down the left side in game week 9. Moving down the table, quite significantly, as we head to Man United. There's going to be a switch up at left back for Ollie this week. Luke Shaw is confirmed out with a hamstring problem for at least another couple of weeks. But it does mean we're likely to see a first appearance in the Premier League for Alex Telles. If you're not familiar with the Brazilian, he racked up 26 goals and 57 assists from the left side for Porto. He's dangerous and provides an interesting option. But to be honest, I reckon I could play left back against that West Brom side. Let's quickly get through the main injury news elsewhere. One of my boys, Matt Doherty, is sadly out for Jose's men. While we're on Spurs, I do find it mad that for all the stick Harry Kane gets for his injury issues, he's made 20 appearances this year for club and country, and he's looking better than ever. Staying in London, Michail Antonio should be back to lead the line for the Hammers. He scored 3 and 5 before his injury. Shall we venture further south? Popular pick Leandro Trossard should be fit for game week 9, and back up north the same can be said for a similarly popular pick, Callum Wilson. That's just about your lot injuries wise. Be wary of a lot of classic international break knocks when making your transfers as well. The likes of Rashford, Ward-Prowse, Eze, Brewster, Alan Fofana and plenty of others are listed as doubtful, but we all know they're not. Now on to our as of yet unnamed new fixture section. If anyone has any suggestions for the title of this part of the show, let us know in the comments. Spurs v Man City. This one is always usually a belter. There have been 4 or more goals in 2 of the last 4 games. Standout performers from this fixture have been Son for Spurs, who has scored 3 in the last 4 meetings, while Sergio Aguero leads the way for City. He is the fixture's all-time top scorer with 12. The last 0-0 in this game was August 2010. We're guaranteed goals this weekend, although both sides do have the equal best defences, conceding 9 goals, which really just shows how mental the Premier League has been this year, to be honest. Spurs won 2-0 at home last year, with Steven Bergwijn announcing himself to the world. Liverpool versus Leicester, first v third, and not in the order you'd expect. This one doesn't look good for Leicester. They've failed to win in the last 6 Premier League ties against the Reds and got hammered 4-0 in their last meeting between the sides. Ironically, Salah is a solid. He won't be missed. If the history of this fixture is anything to go by, with the Egyptian failing to score in the last 4 meetings. Mane and Firmino, on the other hand, both have 3 in the last 4. Vardy has 7 in 11 against Liverpool though, so don't write him off. As an Arsenal fan, learn from my mistakes. Never write off Vardy. Wolves v Southampton. A real spicy top half clash, this one. There are two obvious names to look out for. Remember my intro? The one striker all the numbers are pointing to, it's this man, Raul Jimenez, who has 3 in 2 versus Southampton. The Mexican has only gone more than 2 Prem games without scoring once since January. And he scored in both of Mexico's games over the international break. The man who will be supplying his ammunition, Pedro Neto, netted on his debut for Portugal last week. It was against the farmers of Andorra though, you know, those mountain farmers. For Southampton, all eyes are on Che Adams, who has 3 goals and 1 assist in his last 4 games. But Southampton have not kept a clean sheet in their last 4 meetings between the sides. The Naughty Step, sponsored by Gareth Barry. Just the 2 naughty boys this week. The main bit of news out of this section is the return of Richarlison. Everton have really missed the Brazilian. Like, really missed him. They've lost all 3 games he was suspended for. And what better time to return than against Fulham? Transfer ins. Okay, let's get right into it. 3 names we think you have to get in your side this week. If you're playing Dream Team, remember you've got 5 subs at your disposal. Bruno Fernandes, the most selected player on Dream Team with 61% of gaffers having him. So I'm looking at you, the other 29%. I knew that maths certificate would come in handy someday. The diving bass Portuguese maestro has 5 goals and 3 assists in the league thus far. United have been poor this season, but you know who's been a lot worse? Their opponents, West Brom. Despite improving slightly in recent game weeks, the Baggies have still only kept 1 clean sheet and conceded the equal most goals alongside Leeds. Hakim Ziyech. Everyone saw what a special talent this lad was in game week 8. He finished with 2 assists against Sheffield United, but quite frankly, it could have been a lot more. Chelsea are now the top scorers in the league. His performances for Morocco during the break haven't gone unnoticed either, with 3 goals and 2 assists in 2 games. Their opponents, Newcastle, have kept 1 clean sheet all season, and that was in game week 1. Jack Grealish. Villa's skipper has already equalled his assist total from the 1920 season after just 7 games. And that's with 4 goals thrown in there as well. Only Harry Kane has more assists. But I'd rather talk about Mason Mount. Just kidding. He looked very good for England as well, which as an Irishman, I don't mind saying. Look, the English gave us Cascarino and Kilban, so it's only fair we give you one of the world's most exciting midfielders. Hang on. Upcoming fixtures for Villa are very handy too. Brighton, West Ham, Newcastle, Wolves, Burnley, West Brom, Crystal Palace. Get them in, even double up with Watkins if you can. Predicted 11s. Alright, so you're up to speed with who's available. Let's get some predicted lineups coming your way. My personal favourite part of the show. Right, that's all from us. Just before I leave you, I've got to remind you about our Dream Team fantasy football game. We've got a new and exciting subscription service for you this year called Dream Team Coach. It offers projected scores, fixture difficulty rating, projected price changes, and loads more if you're looking for that extra detail when picking your team. It's available really easily in the app, and there's a link in the description below. Let us know what you thought of the show in the comments. Tell all your mates about us. We're working really hard every week to give you the most informative video on the internet for fantasy football. And let us know what your teams are going to look like. Have you got any obscure picks? How's your season gone so far? Okay, I'm off, but good luck this weekend.